Hello, hello, welcome to today. Let's tap into the energies and the frequencies of the world. No, just of the day, of today for us. For what's this? The miracle tone of nature, 432 hertz. I read it online, so it's gotta be true, right? Okay. Yes. In the earth. In the earth. Cozy. Held. Nurtured. Sprouting. Gorgeous. Okay, let's see what the Arcturians have for us today. What you got for us today, Arcturians? What's this? We're still in the time shift. I think that's what that one is. Which tracks? Okay. And forgiveness. Ooh, the energy of forgiveness helps you to find the strength to forgive yourself for whatever judgments you have imposed on yourself. Forgive yourself, realizing that your action was based on knowledge you had at a certain moment in time. You can do no wrong. Forgiveness shows you that there is nothing to forgive. Beautiful. Yeah. I mean, this is that grace with self, right? And with others. We and people only are able to meet, be, show up as far as much as our capacity allows, right? And as we grow and expand, it does nothing for anything to look back upon the version of self that didn't know better and hold it accountable. Now, I say that, and accountability is important, but only as a mechanism to evolve, right? A recognition, this is how I used to, but this is how it is now, right? A thank you very much, goodbye, forgiveness, and then this is where we're at. This is what we've learned. This is what we retained from that experience that helped us evolve. And then this, yes, time shift. And then this one is, what is this other one? Not that one. Where are you? Aha. Transition. Time shift transition. Okay. Yes. Transitioning, the in between space, the in the ground, being held. It's dark. Don't be scared. Don't be scared of the dark. Also, this forgiving those times when we were scared of the dark and maybe rushed ourselves out of our safety, out of our cocoon, out of our earth sprouting phase because we wanted to rush through. We didn't know that it was part of the process, right? And so we can look back at those times and hold ourselves punishable. But this like I said, doesn't serve where we are now, except to solidify us in where we are now, right? This recognition of how far you've come, how you used to think. It's meant to serve as a contrast, as a recognition, as a, think of it as the snake acknowledging the skin that it has shed, right? And in so doing, there is a recognition of separation. It's no longer a part of them, though it was, right? It was a part of them that got them to where they are now, but it is now something to release. And just like in our personal relationships, we can be tethered to the past through our lingering emotions towards it. Same with the self, right? So find the little tethers and release them, detach them, let go of them. This is something that we do in the darkness. This is what the darkness affords us, right? We can't see with our physical eyes, so it forces us to feel, to go within. And when integrating past versions of self, when going back and finding the fractured versions of self that happen when trauma and things happen in our past, part of this recollecting of ourselves, excavating the gems out of the mountain, right, is to go back and see, go back and learn, find the lesson, find the meaning, the purpose, the point, the stepping stone, and release all else. And it's the difference between picking up a gem and putting it in your pocket versus attaching to a past that disables us from moving forward. Okay. Okay, let's get a rune or two. Yes, Hagolas. Hagolas and Kinas. Okay. And I'm getting this lightning bolt message from Spirit. That will shift, transform, smack you in the face, to wake you up, to activate you, to engage you in the now. Yes. I'm loving this seed of life symbol in the center here. It's also giving me the cycles, right? It's like grieving and forgiveness, because you're grieving the past, but you're also forgiving it, forgiving your part, your role in it, right? Going back into the past and recognizing, yes, it's one thing. People treated you a certain way that was not good, right? And it's another thing. I allowed people to treat me in a certain way that wasn't good. It's both. And this acknowledgement, that's the forgiving part, right? You have to forgive all involved, and you that a version of you was involved, right? And so this forgiveness is a necessary part. We don't want to hold resentment to self. Why did you do that? Why did you? The signs were there. And then we talk harshly to ourselves, talk down to ourselves, hold ourselves to the standard that we are perceiving it from. But this version of self is not the same as the version who was involved in the situations. And so care and love and patience and compassion. That owl fell again. Messages from spirit. Okay, yes, it wants. I should read the owl thing in the book here. Messages from spirit. Okay, enlightenment, creativity, skill, offspring, and learning. The acquisition of wisdom, knowledge, and insight have been the owl's forte since the beginning of time. They have sharp eyes that can see in the dark what others need light to perceive. The companion of many goddesses across many cultures, the owl is a holder of their occult secrets. For the unaware creature, they are fearsome. Kinaz has the hot, bright energy of fire and the illuminating torch. It represents the search for truth and knowledge and a burning creative drive. In a reading, Kinaz speaks of artistic and technical ability and honing your craft. Lighting your way through the dark, it encourages you to be a self-starter and to take initiative, guided by curiosity and intelligence. There you go. The barn owl. I don't know if that's it. Looks like it though, right? Totally. Okay. Okay, owl. I'll just stick you right there. How about? Okay. And Hagalas. What was it? Radical change. And this is it. When we are suddenly able to see something from a different perspective, or to integrate something that has been left behind or forgotten. It is like an aha moment. It is like a radical shift, change, evolution, understanding, and perspective holds weight, right? It matters. It matters. Okay. What you got for us today? For this reading, this transitional time shifting. Okay. Yes. So, Divine Spirit team, celebrating your choice to leave struggle behind, your constant choosing away from defensive combative, argumentative, ego-driven conflicts. This is huge. So an example, I have many cousins. I'm the oldest of many cousins, and one of them wanted a tattoo. And so I was into tattooing. And so she got me to design a tattoo for her, which I did. And we were just waiting for her to book a session. Beautiful. Love. Love just landed on here. Choosing the love, yes. Anyways, I haven't heard from her in a couple years. I have since paused my tattooing for a few months, well, since last spring or whatever. And I just saw a post where she got a tattoo similar to the design that I made her. If it wasn't the design, I can't remember. It was a while ago that I designed it for her, right? And initially, there was this like, oh, right? This, oh. And that is so much my mother and my Oma, right? How they would have taken it personally. It would have been this like, oh, well, kind of that. I don't know how else to articulate that. Sort of obligation-y, disappointment. I don't know. I don't even know what it is. That's why I just, whatever. Maybe this is part of why I just choose the love, right? But the point is that I recognized it. I recognized it in my DNA of like an old pattern of whatever that is, right? That tendency, that taking other people's actions personally and then carrying it with you, right? Like holding a grudge against this person now because they, for whatever reason, because I don't have any information, went a different direction, right? But this is saying, so in that example, I was choosing love versus my ancestral pattern reaction. And I feel like it was a echo or one of those loop around tester moments, like, how are you responding to these things now, right? And I passed, yay! But it's interesting, the recognition. And then in that recognition phase, like, oh, ancestrally, this is how we would have responded. And this is how I responded. Wow, big difference, right? The shift, the change, whatever. But in tandem with that recognition is also in the past when I had reacted and responded in line with my ancestral wounds, right? And so this forgiveness of, the perceived and the perceiver. Okay. So yes, this choosing of love, okay? This choosing love, this choosing of assumption through love, right? We can assume something that validates our own desire to be angry by creating a narrative that justifies it, right? Like, oh, well, they and bloop, 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 blap, bloop, blap, blip, blip, blop, blop. I don't even know how to say any of it. But instead, just being like, oh, well, glad she got the thing that she wanted to get, right? It's got nothing to do with me. I never want to force anybody, family or not, into doing something that they don't want to do or don't feel comfortable doing. You know, it may be it was a friend of hers getting into tattooing and offered to do it for her for free right there, right then. You know, I live 2 hours away from her. It's a big deal for a single mom with two little ones to get time and space to go do something so frivolous as getting a tattoo, right? And so um, when we are able to detach ourselves from um, how we think other people should be or what they should do, we free ourselves, right? This is that shackling versus jeweling, right? By this recognition, I gained a little jewel. And versus if I would have gone the other way, I would have tethered myself to something that I don't want, something that's not love. Okay. Yes, I use my experiences because that's all I have. That's all I know. And I don't like to tell people what to think, what to do. And so this is why your intuition, your perception, perceiving what you take and what you leave is up to you. And I just throw it out there and hope that it makes sense and it's helpful and whatever the case may be, right? That's part of my work, is to share the work, my experiences, and because we're universal, because we're mirrors, right? Because we're reflections of each other in so many ways. So I don't know. I just think there's value in shared experiences and also neurodivergence, right? This is how, well, I know that I um, create bonds with people is by sharing similar stories in an attempt to say, first of all, to clarify, like, this was my experience with this thing. Is that like what you're talking about? If so, then I understand because, and it's like this way of bonding. But, I've also lived around a lot of neurotypical people who accuse me of trying to compete by sharing a story, and maybe it's better. The other person perceives it as being better, or it's like a one-up show, and it's like, that's none of that. Or trying to divert the conversation back onto myself to take away from the other person. And it's like, it's none of that. It's just how I communicate, how I share, how I bond. Okay. So, anyways, your ability to take the lessons, this work that you've done on yourself, this recognition of choosing the love, right? And your ability to choose is exactly what is leading to this 10 of Pentacles, or holding it or anchoring it, this legacy vibe. This is that thing that lasts for a long time, right? This is the oak tree that is rooted and established and fruit bearing every year after year for generations. And this kind of releasing self from others and choosing love is exactly what grounds you in. Yes. It's the rooting, it's the establishing. Nothing grows on the surface until an established structure has happened beneath the surface. And that's exactly this time shifting transition period. It's the under the surface growth, the eyes closed, the go within, and make sure to let go of any grudges. The forgiveness isn't just about self, it's also in our reflections, right? When we're able to forgive ourselves, we're more able to forgive others as well. And because we recognize that they are all on their particular paths and journey of their journey, right? Confirmation burps. Yeah, so grudges, especially from the past, it only weighs your ship down, or your floaty device, right? I remember my cousin, when she was 18 years old, talked back to my mom in a way that my mom thought was disrespectful, and probably could have been, whatever, right? Not saying that none of that was true, but my mom held held a grudge about that situation well into, I mean, she might still be holding on to it, I don't know, right? But well into 10 plus years. And anytime I'd bring up that cousin, my mom would be like, oh, this situation that happened the last time I talked to her, or whatever. And to hear my mom tell it is like it just happened yesterday. She's tethered herself through her grudge holding, through her taking personally. And it's a choice, right? Choosing to take someone's actions personally. In that same moment, we could choose to not. We can be like, okay, you're going through something, or you're acting like a biatch, or whatever the case may be. We can acknowledge it. We could even say, hey, I don't like how you spoke to me when you were 18 years old, or whatever. But it's a whole different thing to hold things like a personal attack that you will reignite every time a topic comes up that reminds you, or whatever, right? Yes. But this was all part of the pathway back to your heart. Your family members played a role in your life to be an example. And you learned, right? We learn. Our environment adds to our stepping stones. And just like, children who grow up in an alcoholic family either become alcoholics themselves or never touch alcohol. The environment that they grew up in helped to shape them. But this is about you being anchored in your heart space, okay? And because of your constant choosing love, okay? Choosing your connection to your divine, to your spirit, to your to source, choosing it over defensiveness, reactiveness, tethering. And that is beautiful. Yes. Okay, so this is all part of this period, because I feel like this time shift, this transition, is into a world where you are extremely powerful, and everything that you say and think, because it is in line with each other, manifests quicker. And so you need this process of getting it right, making sure that you are consistently choosing love, so that that is what your power of reception contributes to the field, and not the opposite. Because I feel like spirit, this is why there's testing, this is why there is frequency checks and groundedness checks. Like, when you're learning some sort of martial arts or even self-defense or whatever, and they get you to stand firm and sturdy, and then the sensei or the instructor or whatever comes over and they try to push you over. And if you're not solidly, firmly standing, you fall over. But if you are, you hold your ground, right? And that's kind of like the universe is your sensei testing your footing. Is this going to shake you? Is this going to revert you back to the old way? Or are you firmly rooted in love, right? And yes, you are. Okay, because this is the king, and the king is action. So you are successfully taking heart-based actions. And this is beautiful. This is like the machine that fuels what you speak and what you think, because it's heart. I feel like it's that trifecta, right? Your heart and so like the body and spirit, and it passes through the third eye, the middleman, I call it. And it creates a point of focus, which is actually a portal that things manifest in. Well, that makes sense. When those things are in line, it starts to create manifestations. Because there's nothing getting in the way, right? Your belief, your words, and your actions are all in line. So think of this dark, held, under the surface growth time, hibernation time, acclimation period, as you're rooting, grounding, establishing self. You're like, this is why that came up yesterday. So yesterday I pointed out my purple passion plant. I have a cutting here. If you didn't check out yesterday's reading, was it yesterday? Might have been the day before, anyways. My purple passion plant. And it is a cutting from the main plant, which is a cutting that I got from my Oma's main plant. And so the relevance of ancestral lines and the cuttings, it's almost like we take with us with the cutting all of the information of the original plant. It is a piece of the whole, but the environments in which it grows in is what's different. And there's something about that in there. I just was shown that connection of the mother plant and the cutting of it, and then environmental circumstances differing that will produce different results than from the mother tree based on conscious choices. I don't know, that we move away from plants. Okay. I don't know enough about plants. Okay, anybody else want to come up? It's okay. So, yes, this is very much transition, time shift, hanging out, not taking action. This isn't action taking time. This is hanging out time. This is under the surface, right? And it's a good time to look at things differently, to release the things, to really clear and fertilize the area, because everything we let go of becomes our fertilizer. And it's a necessary part of all of the processes, because it's a cycle. It creates a cycle, which is life. Life is cyclical. Okay. Wow. Okay, so we got the justice, we've got things balancing, right? We've got the judgment. Okay, this is part of this process. Again, trust the process. All these readings just keep lining up perfectly with where we are right now in our process. Yeah, it's so beautiful seeing this unfolding, happening in these readings every day. And the consistency and follow through is beautiful. But anyways, the judgment is about this new life, this birth of the new. This is the frequency that from the angels that reignite the phoenix from the flames so that it may live again. Also, eagles. Fun, crazy fact about eagles is that they live for about 60 years or something like that, which is crazy. But they then can choose to die or to be born again. Okay, seriously, look it up. And in order to be born again, they have to go up to some high mountain top range where there's very few predators or whatever. And they rip off their talons and grow new ones. And then they rip off their beak and they grow a new one. And then they will live for another 60 years. They can choose to do this or not. Isn't that wild? Okay. So, rebirth, okay, the process of letting go of the old so that the new can be birthed, born, right? And this is a rebalancing of the scales. This new life will reflect back everything that you gave in the first part. And if you're here, you were given love consistently for the most part. And so you're going to get love back, right? Yes. You remained rooted and grounded and firm in your love soil. And that is a beautiful thing. Okay, that's your strength. That's where your strength comes from. Also, from this love, this unconditional love of self, which is then reflected in everyone that you interact with. This is what you're doing while you are germinating. Is it germinating? I think it is. I think it's germinating. Okay, let's get a card from the alternate tarot deck here. And see. Just give us something we are forgiven, have forgiven, or in the process of forgiving. Anybody? Oh, there it is. What do we got? Queen of Wands. Okay. Happy, dancing, empowered, passionate, authentically shining. Look at, there's a volcano smoking in behind. It's like powerful. And abundance. We got all this green and the flower crown and flowers blooming all around. And we've got this balance, 1 foot on the ground and 1 foot up, right? It's like that heart soul connection. Beautiful. So this is the becoming. This is the being, right? The Queen of Wands. Queens are the beers. So being in your authentic, creative, empowered gorgeousness while taking action from your heart space. I mean, yes. Beautiful. Okay, let's get a kitty card here. Any of the kitties want to come out? This one. Guardian. Meet Lavandril. She stands sentinel, a gentle yet protective force. She can help you guard your mind against negativity, defeatism, and delusion. She is a shield that will only allow the words and actions of people with compassionate intentions to reach the depth of your being. The depths. She keeps your true self safe as you journey into the depths, seeking understanding and healing. The depths is in the soil, right? She is a master space holder. Lavandril will hold your hand in your paw as you cry, as you dance wildly, as you merge with the all, as you dissolve and evolve. Beautiful. Look at her. Look at the pastels in the back. Gorgeous. Beautiful kitty confirmations. Okay, also the spirit animals wanted to come out, so we'll let them. Who wants to come out? Okay, the oyster flipped. Aha. The panther and the fire ant. Okay, these are the the residual, the undercurrent, the recognition, the last bits, the releasing, the purging, the shedding, get that all done, okay? And then the oyster. Get that all done. Okay. This one. The oyster. Patient secret keeping, hiding inner treasures. Beautiful. The focus and determination of the oyster is unmatched. Anything an oyster personality puts their mind to, they achieve with grace and charm. The only problem is oyster types often take their inner gifts for granted. They become shy or doubtful, and this could lead to withdrawing or protecting their deepest desires in life's work. When the oyster card appears, it is important to reveal your inner treasures. What is it you've been hesitant to share? The world is waiting to see. When in balance, feels blessed, generous, and masterful. When out of balance, reluctant, gripping, and clams up. And to bring into balance, share something. So I think this is why that came up about me sharing my personal experiences. This is the only way I know how to share wisdom is through the wisdom that I gained from my own personal experiences. I try to make them universal. I try to inject them into parables and examples like the mountain or the balloon or the garden or whatever. But sometimes spirit will give me a specific example from my own life to share, and I have to trust that. I also noticed, like, other readers and stuff like that, they are always reluctant to share personal experiences and stories, or they're making a big deal if they do, and like being super apologetic and stuff like that. And of course, you know, being who I am, ADHD and all this stuff, I start to like, oh no, am I doing something wrong, right? And we all have our way of communicating, and so just trust it, trust the process, trust what you feel you needs to be shared. This is another way people can arrive at things without being told, right? When you share an experience, and it makes when you hear someone's shared experience and it makes you think of your own, that's it working, right? That's its point. It's supposed to serve as a visual for understanding. Yes. Okay. What else? Let's get love messages just like that. Boom. Transformation. Okay. You can't make this up. You cannot make it up. You use the power of love to move through illusions and shift into awareness. Beautiful confirmation of the beginning, somewhere in the beginning. Okay, let's get these love messages. I mean, there's quite a lot, right? And I try to move them all around so I'm not grabbing the same ones again. Okay, gratitude. Yeah, you'll find in this work, gratitude is the counterpart of love. I want to say love and gratitude, right? This appreciation, it's also an acknowledgement of what it is that is beautiful, that you love, right? It's an in tandem. Oh, I love that idea. I love the idea of love and gratitude being divine counterparts. Okay. Trust your intuition. Okay. Trust the things that come up. Trust the memories that surface. Trust the processes that happen. Trust the things that pull away, fall away, that are signaling to you that this isn't the way to go. Trust that. Don't try to force it. Don't try, just flow with it. This is why we talk about this flow, this ability to remain non resisting. So you're floating down the river and something gross is on the side of the river. Well, you just float to the other side. You don't stop yourself, grab the bank, point your finger at it and be like, look at this disgusting thing. Just look at it. Oh, it's awful. Oh, and you're like clinging to the side of the bank, and maybe you're rubbing it all over yourself and being like, now it's all over me, right? This is an exaggerated example of our choosing and this awareness, right? Yeah, you can, and how simple, right? And look at the energy and everything in that example, right? Oh, no, I'm just gonna go over on this side versus right? Okay. Sexy bath time. Yeah, you can make it sexy, even if it's by yourself. Get some candles, get some petals, get some, I don't know, love stories. I just finished one. What did I do with it? Oh, it's right here. Like, just finished it. I had never ever read one of these silhouette special editions, but apparently that's what they're all about. Wild passions. And yeah, I went to the Restore and it was just like, I looked up and it was right there. And I'm like, fine. So I read it and I don't know. It's kind of like word porn, with a little bit more story, but not that much. You know, the depth was still, it was just enough story to create that like sexual tension in moments. And then, yeah. Anyways, I don't know. I feel like I could write one. Actually, I wanted to. Actually, I have kind of. Mine are more just short stories. I don't, yeah, I guess I was writing porn when I was younger. Because there was no story. It was just like right at the good stuff. Let's just get right into it. We didn't even need to know the people's names, you know? Yeah. Anyways, I don't know where we're going with that, but we're just in, oh yeah, 60 bath time. So let your brain play. Have fun with it. And sexuality, sensuality, feeling good is an important part of the balancing of all, right? And it's also this love of self. If you can feel sexy in your own skin, and create moments for yourself where you are treating yourself romantically, basically, this is all good. This is all part of the love, right? Okay, last one is hug a tree. Yes, this is that nature time, the quiet time. This is the gratitude towards the things that are grounded and rooted and blooming. This is also a recognition of the mirroring that trees are to us. They are our counterparts, right? What they breathe in, we breathe out. What they breathe out, we breathe in. Like, how more counterparty do you need? Like, as an example, the rootedness, the groundedness, and this connection to the sky, the air, spirit, right? And that in between conduit. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So hug a tree and let it hug you back. Okay. Okay. We'll get a couple little chimes before we close it out. I didn't mean for that many. Okay. So we've got to celebrate this your becoming. I'm really getting these rings. This is this expansion, this evolution, this growth, right? And same with what is growing inside the oyster, that or the pearl, and the grit, that irritation, that it keeps moving around and it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then going within this period of going within and excavating the gem, the jewel, the pearl, right? Beautiful. Okay, we've got the love dove, which is actually a swallow, and swallows are, I can't think of what the swallows are right now. Okay, but we've got, moving on, we've got the wheel, okay, you being the steerer of your own ship with your choices, right? You choose which way you go. Look at, we've got the owl here. This is beautiful. This is action from your heart. This is the action owl. We've got the heart action here as our main action. And so this is mirroring this connection and recognition of your connection and awareness, right? Something like that. Okay, and then we've got the kitty. This is the self-care kitty, but aware, right? Eyes open. This is the one who's holding space for you as you are going in the depths. Your little guardian guide in case you get lost, or so you don't get lost, right? We've got the angel wing here. This is the nod, the love, the help, the aid from your angels. Every time you choose love, they are able to, you create a cord that they can send healing frequencies through towards you to help. Okay, we've got the self-care charcuterie butter knife. So do more of that. We've got the blooming blooms on the trust your intuition and the gratitude. So gratitude in everything that you have, and this trusting your intuition to lead you to whatever it is you need. Because ask and you shall receive, right? The universe provides and works in mysterious ways. It is gorgeous. And you're more likely to hear the less noise, the less conflict, the less resistance, and the more love vibes you emit. Yes, emit. And look, love, 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 love is standing out to me as it does. Okay. So keep choosing the love. You're doing it. Don't rush this phase. This is the building of your solid foundation. And so you actually want to give it the maximum amount of time possible, because anything that grows from it will last a lifetime and generations. And so you don't want to rush the foundation building process, or you get shoddy foundations, and no matter how glorious of a thing you build upon it, it will crumble, right? So wrap your head around it, look at it from a different perspective. This is a sacred pause, growth period. Allow it and take advantage of it. Take advantage of the internal excavating processing and find all those gorgeous little gems. Yes. Okay, there you have it. Love you and appreciate you and hope to see you next time. Have a good one. Bye.